Hello everyone, welcome to History and Culture. In the cold first month of the third year of the Yongzheng reign, the atmosphere in the imperial capital, Beijing, was noticeably different from usual. Emperor Yongzheng, securely seated deep within the Forbidden City, was quietly setting up a vast net. And the target of this net was none other than the powerful minister, Nian Gengyao. According to reports, all of this stemmed from a secret imperial edict. Emperor Yongzheng secretly issued instructions to several local officials, such as Yi Duli and Yuan Lixiang. And these senior members of the court quickly realized the emperor's intentions. They all submitted memorials, declaring that they had no personal relationship with Nian Gengyao. Even the Governor-General of Yunnan and Guizhou, Gao Qizhua, sent a memorial, suggesting that Nian Gengyao be removed from the frontier and stripped of his military powers. As a result, the political atmosphere in the capital quietly began to shift. The shadow of imperial authority now hung over Nian Gengyao's head. Under Yongzheng's clever maneuvering, Nian Gengyao gradually lost his supporters. And the balance of power in the court began to quietly shift. The turning point, however, came from a seemingly trivial mistake. During a festival, Nian Gengyao, stationed on the northwestern frontier, submitted a congratulatory memorial. But in the text, he mistakenly wrote, "Rise early, work hard," as, "Work hard, rise late." This small error became the pretext for Emperor Yongzheng to strike back. Yongzheng subtly suggested that officials submit memorials to impeach him. And as a result, Nian Gengyao's rank was suddenly reduced by 18 levels overnight. And he was demoted to guard the city gates in Hangzhou. This news shocked the entire capital. Yongzheng's counterattack did not stop there. In September, after Nian Gengyao had been guarding the city gates in Hangzhou for several months, he finally received a decree from the emperor summoning him back to Beijing. Upon his return to the capital, he was subjected to a 3-month trial by the Ministry of Justice. The state officials listed 92 major crimes against him, including several serious offenses. Just 11 days later, Nian Gengyao was granted death by the emperor in prison. This once powerful minister, who had dominated the court, ultimately fell like a shooting star, disappearing into the long river of history. So, after Nian Gengyao's execution, how did Emperor Yongzheng handle his wife and daughter? According to relevant historians, Nian Gengyao's rise to power was a typical rags-to-riches story. His experience proved that with enough effort and intelligence, anyone could rise from an ordinary background to the pinnacle of power. Nian Gengyao was born into an official family, but his family background was not distinguished and did not count as aristocratic. However, from a young age, he demonstrated extraordinary talent and determination. During the reign of Emperor Kangxi, he chose to enlist in the military, beginning his career in the army. On the battlefield, Nian Gengyao distinguished himself with outstanding bravery, often achieving great victories in combat. These accomplishments allowed him to gradually stand out in the military. In addition to his courage, Nian Gengyao was also praised for his strategic vision and tactical wisdom. He was not merely a general who rose through military prowess, but also a military strategist capable of handling complex situations on his own. Nian Gengyao excelled not only in warfare, but also in handling military and administrative affairs, which earned him recognition. He was skilled at organizing and mobilizing the army and was well-versed in military management and training. These abilities made him especially valuable in the eyes of Emperor Kangxi. Kangxi's favor towards Nian Gengyao gave him more opportunities, laying the foundation for his later rise to power. After Yongzheng ascended the throne, the power of Nian Gengyao reached its peak. When Yongzheng first became emperor, he was in urgent need of capable ministers to solidify his rule, and Nian Gengyao was one of the people he relied on the most. Nian Gengyao not only provided significant support to Yongzheng in military matters but also played an important role in the governance of the state. His ability to handle state affairs was highly praised by Emperor Yongzheng. Particularly his crucial role in suppressing political rivals and stabilizing the regime. Thanks to these contributions, Nian Gengyao's position in the court quickly rose. Not only was he granted high-ranking official titles and wealth, but he also gained more power and responsibilities, becoming a trusted aide to Emperor Yongzheng. According to some historical records, Nian Gengyao's power was different from that of a typical general. He was not only involved in military command but also deeply engaged in the country's major decisions. At many critical moments, Nian Gengyao's advice played a crucial role in Emperor Yongzheng's decisions, even influencing his choices. This kind of power, surpassing that of an ordinary military leader, was rare in the history of the Qing dynasty. In addition to his official glory, Nian Gengyao's close ties with the royal family were also a symbol of his power. His personal relationship with Emperor Yongzheng was very close, with Nian Gengyao not only being Yongzheng's trusted minister but also an important ally in both political and military matters. This intimate relationship placed Nian Gengyao in a unique position in the Qing dynasty's governance, making him an essential pillar of Yongzheng's rule. Because of his position, his family also benefited, rising in social status and becoming one of the most prominent families in society at the time. However, as Nian Gengyao's power grew, his attitude began to change. The humility and caution he once showed were gradually replaced by arrogance and confidence. He began to overly rely on his own power, even showing excessive arrogance in certain situations. These behaviors naturally alerted Emperor Yongzheng, who was always sensitive to power struggles. Furthermore, Nian Gengyao's rash actions, such as recommending people in an overbearing manner, threatened the interests of other important figures in the court. Individuals like Long Kodo and Yiqin Wang Yunxiang naturally felt the pressure, and tensions started to rise. Yongzheng repeatedly tried to mediate the relationship between the three, but Nian Gengyao ignored these efforts and, in some cases, exacerbated the conflict. More seriously, Nian Gengyao had old ties with Yongzheng's political enemy, Yunti. When Yongzheng ordered Nian Gengyao to monitor Yunti, not only did Nian Gengyao fail to carry out the order, but he also maintained secret contact with Yunti. This made the already suspicious Emperor Yongzheng uneasy and angry, as he felt that Nian Gengyao's actions had crossed the line and threatened his reign. It is worth noting that Nian Gengyao's arrogance was not just reflected in his growing power, but also in his behavior within the court. He not only accepted bribes, secretly bought and sold official positions, but also formed factions for personal gain. Worse still, on some formal occasions, Nian Gengyao openly disrespected court etiquette, appearing arrogant and showing no respect. All of this caused Emperor Yongzheng to lose his patience with him. Therefore, when Yongzheng gradually realized the uncontrollability of Nian Gengyao, he began to take covert actions. Yongzheng first stabilized Nian Gengyao's position through a series of methods and instructed other court officials to gather evidence of Nian Gengyao's crimes. All of this eventually led to Nian Gengyao's downfall. In the third year of Yongzheng's reign, Nian Gengyao made a small mistake in a memorial, where he wrote, Shidi Chao Qian, vigilant in the evening, diligent in the morning, incorrectly as, Chao Qian Shidi, diligent in the morning, vigilant in the evening. This minor error infuriated Yongzheng, who immediately removed him from his posts as governor of Sichuan and Shaanxi and Grand General of Fuyuan, and transferred him to the position of general in Hangzhou. Faced with this sudden change, Nian Gengyao tried to refuse in every possible way, even expressing his humility in a memorial. But he could not change Yongzheng's determination. Afterward, during Nian Gengyao's time in Hangzhou, the number of memorials impeaching him increased, and his situation gradually worsened. Ultimately, Yongzheng decided to completely weaken Nian Gengyao's position and demote him to a low-ranking official assigned to guard a city gate. Once a figure of immense power, Nian Gengyao now became a mere gatekeeper, a transformation that struck many as astonishing. In the end, Nian Gengyao's crimes were enumerated in 92 charges, almost all of which were sufficient to warrant death. However, Yongzheng still sought to spare Nian Gengyao from execution. On the 3rd day of October in the 3rd year of Yongzheng's reign, a tiger entered Nian Gengyao's residence and ran into his backyard. Although the tiger was eventually shot dead by the soldiers, the incident was considered an omen, which deeply unsettled Yongzheng. According to rumors, a white tiger had been seen when Nian Gengyao was born. Upon hearing of the incident, Yongzheng decided to no longer show mercy, and ordered Nian Gengyao to be executed by suicide in prison. There are different interpretations of this event. Some believe that Yongzheng may have exaggerated the story, using it as an excuse to completely eliminate Nian Gengyao. Regardless, Yongzheng commanded Nian Gengyao to take his own life in prison. A once-renowned general ended his life in such a tragic manner. After Nian Gengyao's execution, according to the political customs of the time, his family should have faced severe consequences, with almost all of its members at risk of extermination. However, history did not unfold in this manner. Yongzheng's treatment of Nian Gengyao's family not only demonstrated his political wisdom but also revealed his compassion in certain aspects. First of all, Nian Gengyao's family did not suffer total annihilation. Although their property was confiscated, most of the family members avoided death. Among them, Nian Gengyao's sister, Lady Nian, the emperor's beloved concubine, played a key role. She was deeply favored by Yongzheng and successfully defended her family in front of the emperor, saving many of them from execution. As for Nian Gengyao's father, Nian Xiaoyang, Yongzheng took a relatively lenient approach. Nian Xiaoyang was a former minister from the previous dynasty. Yongzheng did not subject him to excessive hardship. Instead, he stripped him of his titles and salary and confined him to his home for reflection. This approach was considered compassionate for the time. Nian Gengyao's elder brother, Nian Xiao, was also not severely punished. Although Yongzheng removed him from his position, he did not sentence him to death. In fact, just 1 year later, Nian Xiao was reinstated as the assistant minister of the Ministry of Works. This suggests that Yongzheng still showed some tolerance toward the Nian family. However, Nian Gengyao's sons had a different fate. Nian Shi, who died young due to illness, did not witness the family's downfall. Nian Fu, who was arrogant and overbearing, was sentenced to death after Nian Gengyao's execution because of his rash behavior, making him the only son of Nian Gengyao to be executed. As for Nian Gengyao's other 2 sons, Nian Xing and Nian Shou, they were sent to the borders of Guangxi and Yunnan as soldiers. However, Nian Gengyao's younger children were adopted by their grandfather, Nian Xiaoyang, and their uncle, Nian Xiao, thus avoiding any punishment, demonstrating Yongzheng's prudence and restraint in handling the Nian family. In the 5th year of Yongzheng's reign, considering Nian Gengyao's military achievements, Yongzheng called back Nian Xing and Nian Shou from their military assignments and entrusted them to their grandfather, Nian Xiaoyang, for care. Yongzheng's leniency toward the Nian family displayed his political wisdom in managing complex situations. As for Nian Gengyao's wife, Yongzheng also adopted a relatively tolerant attitude. Nian Gengyao's first wife, Lady Nalan, passed away early, and his second wife, Lady Gua, who had a royal background, was sent back to her family by Yongzheng. Nian Gengyao's daughter, though not punished, lived a very lonely life due to her father's crimes and ultimately died in the inner palace. This reflects the harsh societal attitude toward the families of powerful officials who committed severe offenses at the time. However, overall, Yongzheng's handling of the Nian family not only demonstrated the means he used to uphold political authority but also his consideration for the fate of innocent family members. Although he took decisive action to deter the court, he also preserved some degree of mercy and humanity. This was a relatively rare occurrence in the history of the Qing dynasty and even in the broader context of feudal dynasties. This is the History and Culture channel. Liking and subscribing are the greatest help and support to us. Thank you everyone and see you in the next time.